Even Lopez is the name. It's my show. Welcome to it.
It's my show.
What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Man, I am good. I was gonna say to you when you were in the other camera view, I'm like, look like you've been working out, bro. His biceps just
Hey, yo. Been trying to, man. Been trying to put some work in, man.
you had those Dwayne Johnson shoulders in the mirror.
Yeah, you know, The Rock is everybody's inspiration. Like everybody wants to be like him, man.
That dude is the most. He's so motivational. Like I don't even care. You're like annoyed by people. That guy's amazing.
He has like to probably be like the world's most liked person. Like,
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
like you can't like not like him. It's just like he's just crazy.
That's so funny, man. Well, so how's everything going? I haven't talked to you in a little bit. I was very excited to get back at this, by the way. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, man, like it's crazy. Like everybody keeps talking about the it was like 70 days since the last finals game and opening day for the Lakers. But it's just like, as a fan, it's just great to get back into basketball, like to get back on it.
Oh my God, dude. I have fully dove into NBA League Pass. Like I've done League Pass in the past, but this year I've had it the whole time. Like I'm watching all these bowls. I'm like invested. I'm like,
bro, yo, like literally, like, yeah, cause I got League Pass too, and like, man, I haven't had League Pass in a while. Like, and I finally got a chance to get it. And, like, I've been tuning in. Like, it's just to come home from work and just like, man, knowing it's gonna be some good games on. It's just, like, it's crazy.
yeah, honestly. So all right. So since you said you got League Pass, I'm happy to know this because I had to deal with this. The whole, you get the free trial or whatever.
Yeah.
The subscription thing, and if you got an iPhone, you got to remember to change the whole thing, go in the settings, to change the subscription. But you know what I was doing in my head? Did you buy the season or the month by month?
The season. So I currently got the season one that I can look at it right now. But I think I actually want to change the one I got. So I currently got the season that is just below the one like 249. I got the one that was
right.
It's 200, yeah.
Yeah. So I got that too, and they automatically charged me. And then I was thinking this week, and I reached out to Apple because actually I reached out to NBA, and they told me to reach out to Apple because they have no control over it. But I was like, hey, I meant to change it to the monthly. I accidentally did this. Can I get a refund? And they refunded me.
Oh, that's cool, yeah. So no, because I might have to go that way because I actually do want to get the so the one is one with NBA TV included on it because I don't get NBA TV. So when the last few games are NBA TV, I just gotta watch like either the highlights or watch after the fact. I can't watch it during live real time. So I think I want to get that one. So I just want to see if I can.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know if this is factual or if I'm missing some big point here, but like I was just gonna give advice. Like I don't know. They didn't change the price this year, and December. So if you do the math, right now I'm doing the monthly. It's $29 a month. I think it's 35 with the NBA TV. If we go January, February, March, April, maybe May. By May, a lot of those games don't matter. They're like bullshit or whatever. That's 5 months. That's $130, $150. So I'm like, did I do the math wrong or did they
really? Yeah, I mean, like not even that, bro. It's just like also, but just a lot of these teams that like have been so fun to watch that you didn't really care about in seasons past has been fantastic. So it's like I'm tuning in. Like for example, one of my favorite teams to watch is Atlanta. I love watching Atlanta. Like they've been hooping. Like I'm excited to tune in to them and watch them. So I definitely like just to, in the past, like for me, League Pass biggest thing was to catch all the Lakers games that weren't on national TV, right? But now like you have all these other teams that you can catch up to is really great.
Oh, it's phenomenal. Speaking of Atlanta, I'm gonna pull up some stats and stuff. They did for some reason play pretty bad last night until they came back. Yeah. And Trae Young, what the fuck? I bet
they messed me up. They messed me up on that, but it's sorry, it's okay. It's okay.
They look to be much better. I mean, it's what I was talking about. I'm glad we're hopping on because I want to go through some of the teams. Like I didn't even realize all the transactions because it was such a quick off season. So like the Hawks have Danilo Gallinari, like they have guys that I just didn't know they had.
Hawks have a nice team. Like I personally predicted they were going to be a playoff team. Like personally, like my early season, just like Hawks talks with friends and everything. But like, yeah, they have a nice team.
Yeah, they're definitely. I kind of wanted to. So I want to go through a couple of things. I know I didn't give you like we're not like watching all the game film here, but since we both have League Pass, we've been able to watch some. Who's the most surprising team to you so far out of what you've seen?
The most surprising teams? Uh,
Well, Atlanta, I would imagine, is one of them because they kind of are
yeah.
for me.
Yeah. Atlanta is one, but also because of the moves that they made, I kind of like they I kind of expect them to be like go to a solid start. I will, man. I feel bad saying this, but I would say one of the surprise things has been Phoenix. Like obviously it's only 2 weeks in, so it's still like we got a lot to go through and everything. So a lot of teams are gonna catch a stride. Some teams peaking early gonna fall off. But the fact that Phoenix has been this good this early, like it has been like really like man, it is they didn't take any time at all. And just Chris Paul wherever he goes, he's a winner. Like wherever he goes.
They didn't have a bubble hangover at all. I think we all thought that the Chris Paul move seemed perfect for them. It seemed
Yeah, I mean, it was. It worked wonders to just give them veteran leadership, help Devin Booker out. Help those guys. DeAndre Ayton, I think, still has promise and upside. So like, they definitely have been one. But honestly, as far as that, another team has been the Cavaliers in Indiana. So Indiana, they definitely have a lot of talent. They're going to be always right there in the mix and solid. But the Cavaliers have gotten off to a pretty solid start. Again, that's one of the teams I think they're going to kind of fall off a little bit, but just early on, like Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, they've been fantastic.
I was just listening to the Low Post before this, and first off, I didn't know that the Cavs called their backcourt the nickname is Sexland.
Yeah, yeah, that's wild.
Whatever. Sell some T-shirts. I don't know.
Yeah, that's wild.
But yeah, the Cavs I think are they're on pace to have the highest defensive turnover rate of all time.
Yeah, like it's just a wild, just like crazy stat, man.
No, they've looked much better than a lot of people. I mean, there's 4-4. So, like you said, it's so early, but we got to remember. So, we're 8 games in. Call it 10. There's 72 games this year, so we're 1/7. I mean, it's not crazy. So I think the Cavs playing better than we thought. A lot of these like lower echelon teams, what I was going to say is seem to be playing better than a lot of people thought early on. So it evens out. But if it doesn't and they all stay around 500, that 9 seed playoff tournament or that get in is going to be crazy.
It's going to be talking like obviously you got the big leagues, the playoffs, and the teams you expect to go far. But just if all these teams that are playing really well right now, like I said, they keep the same pace. The play in that you usually the last in the end of the season and leagues you don't really care about like the last 10 or so games the season unless teams are really fighting for position and most teams just like okay whatever. It really gives a meaning to every single game, literally from 1 to 72 that you really got to play and really got to be on it every the whole season. So it's really crazy.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, more so than I guess I had thought about. But so there's a couple. So I was saying about the Cleveland defensive thing. There's a couple weird. We're 2 weeks into the season. There's a couple weird trends that have started. We'll see if they keep going. But Cleveland good. Philadelphia has the best record in the league right now. The Doctor
7-1. Yeah, which is surprising. That's surprising. That's not surprising.
Yeah, no kidding. At 7-1, it's early, but I think they do look like the coaching does seem to affect them a little bit. Doc Rivers is making a bit of a difference. I heard a super interesting thing today, though. It was a report from I was listening to a different podcast, and they had interviewed some executive, and they were talking about Ben Simmons, and the executive said he's a little Hollywood. He doesn't. This was actually the most interesting thing that stood out to me. We all talk about how he needs to work on his shot. In 10 years, if he works on his shot, he could be like super good. They just straight up said he doesn't work on it. He's not in the gym shooting much. He doesn't care. Like he's good. He's a really good player, but he's not like when you predict 10 years down the road, you can see rookie season. If you're not in there at 10 hours, they're probably not going to grow that much. I thought that was more telling than anything I've ever heard about him.
It's huge. Man, I was just having this conversation with one of my coworkers, and I was like, I've said it, and it's like, man, Ben Simmons, I'm starting to trend him towards like not trash because he's not trash at all, but he just seemed like he's suffering from. I'll put him in the same category as Andrew Bynum, right? Had all the promise, talent, could just be dominant, could just be crazy, but just doesn't have that drive and that will to really like take that next step and really be dominant. Like, because Ben Simmons, he's so good, right? He can affect the game in so many different ways, but one of the most telling ways is probably holding them back the most. And if that was the one thing that he can fix and really had that drive and that will to really make that a strength, it would be so different. And he just like they said, just judging by what was said, he seems to like not have that. He just seems to just be content. And then it's just that's going to be a severe limitation for his career.
Could I think that if that team's going to really, I mean, if they're going to, I would imagine this year is the Embiid Simmons probably the last year to see how good.
Yeah, I think so.
Embiid's got to be the best player on that team by far, and he has been great. So
Oh yeah, he has. Yeah, but Embiid, same thing. Obviously, the biggest thing for him is health. He has to stay healthy. Has to be able to do it over like an entire season. Because when he's healthy, he's arguably the best big man in the game. Honestly, like there are very few things that he can't do that he can't control and dominate on a night-to-night basis. So, but like you said, this definitely is probably I would think it's Philly's last run at that because I mean they probably maybe as far as you can go, honestly.
Right, but no, I would think so too. That being said, I want to go through just I want to make early season like predictions for finals and all that stuff just to have them. I think this is going to be a weird year. So they're 7-1. They might have a great regular season. You would imagine like the Bucks will end up the 1 or 2 seed because they just always have good seasons.
Yeah.
Right now, the home teams are under 500, which is weird. I don't know how that holds out, but does home court even matter this year?
No, I think this is the same thing. Kind of like this is kind of going to mirror the restart last season. That like it's just one of those weird things that it's just going to like kind of just be a weird, just some unknown thing, right? Because like I don't know how many odds makers actually have Miami going to the finals last season. Like from when the season first started, like I don't know how many people actually realistically and like seriously had their prediction, right? So how people had Phoenix being right there for having that fantastic bubble run, like that they would have finished the season as strong as they did. So it's definitely like, yeah, I think you're right. It's gonna be like just a weird thing that's like something can happen.
Yeah. It's different than the bubble, but there's similarities with the no fans thing. Although there has been some fans, if you want.
Yeah, there's been some fans in certain. I think
Miami, I saw had some fans.
Yeah, Miami had. I think I want to say I think didn't Houston have a few fans in? So like there are certain places like
they just hope there, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think Florida as well. They're just like whatever. I think it'd be so cool to go to one of these games. Like it'd be awesome.
Yeah, like I mean, I wonder if it's one of the things where the ticket prices are skyrocketed crazy, or can you get like a cheaper price to get a better seat? Like which way is it leaning?
I'm wondering the same thing. I'm wondering if it's just like family and friends. Like I don't even.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that too.
Speaking of that, so you're right. The odds makers, like who's even making those odds? I mean, I made a bet before the season, like a really, really little bet on the Warriors to win it all, and then Clay tore his ACL like 2 weeks
ago. Real quick, the Warriors, I made this prediction. I want to say it live here too. I said it wasn't a really prediction, but it was just more of a statement that Steph Curry, I think, is the best position to win MVP this year.
Yeah, I want to go through our MVP predictions. I'm in a fantasy NBA league, and I had the 5th overall pick, and he was my 1st overall pick because of the thinking that
he's on my fantasy league too. He's been fantastic in those few outstanding games, and he's been solid in the games that he hasn't been fantastic. But yeah, I'm happy with the pick.
I was a little concerned. I mean, look, I am a Steph defender. He's one of the most talented like players, just skill wise. He might be the most skilled basketball player we've ever seen. Like. He's so like as far as the actual skills, shooting is the most important skill in basketball. And people always say about Steph Curry, they're like, well, if he couldn't shoot, he wouldn't be good. That's the fucking point of the sport.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and just when you just watch him, right? Just his presence, right? Just he's one of the guys that his presence and being off the ball, he's as dangerous off the ball as he is with the ball. How many players can you really say that? Like they're as dangerous without the ball.
Clay though, so I was a little worried after these things. So the Clay injury is huge because it does take away from Steph because he just attracts so much attention even when he doesn't touch the ball.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, I thought about it. I feel like Steph is really one of those guys who thrives off the crowd a little bit. And
yeah.
I was a little concerned. So it was really good to see him have that 60-point night because that looked like how he is. Like
it did. That's a good point. Like especially the Golden State fans, they've been accustomed to winning over the past few years. Even before they had this dynasty like run with Steph and guys. Remember back when they had Baron Davis on them, that was still a wild place to play too. They always had like a crazy fan base.
My brother and I always talked about that. Golden State looked like the funnest stadium of all time. Like those Baron Davis games when they were the 8 seed and beat the Mavs, that 1 seed. That Baron Davis sideways.
Like as a hooper, like you like live for those moments where you just have that crazy crowd and that energy. Like it just fills you up in a way that's like, man, like it just makes things just so the things that seem impossible just mean possible and just make everything much more special.
No, you're that. Well, and that's what we're missing this year. And this might end up being one of the weirdest NBA seasons. Nonetheless, we're all happy to have basketball. But yeah, we are definitely missing some of that stuff. Like, there's no doubt. I mean, shit, you watch the Bears Packers to get into the playoffs. Think about it if there would have been fans. I mean, like,
yeah.
change the whole thing. Yeah. All right. So you said a couple surprising teams. I wanted to highlight, first of all, I have bet on the Knicks 2 or 3 times to cover strictly because of Tom Thibodeau. And because I don't think he doesn't allow blowouts that much. He just doesn't let his 800 minutes a game. And they've been impressive. They're 5-3. JR, like Barrett looks really good. Like
Julius Randle has been hooping. Like this Julius Randle, this is what Lakers fans thought the junior we're gonna get when he was drafted number 7, right? Obviously, different things and circumstances, and obviously the situation matters just as much as the player himself. But Julius Randle has been on a tear. He's also on my fantasy team. I love it.
He's on my team. Did we have this roster?
You know what's crazy? In my league, he actually went undrafted. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, crazy. So I was just looking at my roster and like I was making some moves. My man, because at one point I had too many guards. I had Lonzo Ball, LaMelo Ball, Kyle Lowry. I told you I had Steph. And I picked up D Rose. I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta drop some of these guards. So I was looking through it. Julius Randle available. Snatched him up real quick. He's been fantastic. He's been crazy.
Yeah, no, I just pulled up my roster too. He has really been good. I don't have any guys playing tonight except I have Kristaps Porzingis. That was just he's hurt, but it was a safety valve pick for later.
Yeah.
I got nobody playing tonight. How about that?
I just got DeMar DeRozan playing tonight and AD.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I took Kobe and Zach LaVine. I want to get into the Bulls here, and why not? If we're talking about surprising teams, I'll just get right in.
Hey.
I mean, look, it's early in the season, but they're 4-5.
Yeah.
I have the past 2 nights. I've watched more full Bulls games this year than I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. The
whole playing era.
One of the biggest things about them, if you notice, is so in the past couple seasons, like when they get down bid, they get behind, they don't really just play with that same confidence and urge. Like I know we can win. When they got down to 20 plus to Portland, you still seen that same confidence. Like we know we can win this game, and like you just feel like it's a little bit of a culture shift a little bit, and this is like really great to see because they've really been lacking like just that will to just that chip on your shoulder, like to play with some pride. They like I said, they have it a little bit.
Culture shift is exactly the way I would describe it too. Like it's so funny because I think we talked about it when we were on before and the Bulls made the Billy Donovan move. Like I didn't think he was always a great coach before, like at least in the NBA, he was good in college.
I just think he was covered by having KD and Russ and just having those kind of special players.
I remember a lot of times I would watch and be like, their out of bounds play sucked, which a lot of times that's how I'll look at a coach and be like, well, he didn't draw up shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something about, I think the players, I think in the NBA, it's so much more important to have players respect you and like you. Like,
it is what they always say is a players' league more so than any other league, any other professional sports league. And so having it goes a long way having a coach that players can like and respect and want to play for and want to follow. That goes a long way.
Yeah, it looks like they want to play for Donovan. I will say, how do you feel if you're Jim Boylan and it's just like everybody knows that he's bad. Like everybody talks so much shit. Like he's not gonna have a future in coaching, right? Like,
nah, but who knows? Like, that's one of the things about professional sports, especially in the NBA. It's just that if you think the NBA is so exclusive and limited in terms of player pool, the coaching pool is even way more exclusive and limited, and coaches just get recycled round and round and round. So, like, who knows? If he's coaching again, it wouldn't even surprise me, honestly.
Great point, because their careers are longer than players. But sticking on that, so I want to like just Bulls notes real quick. We don't have to break down the Bulls the whole time, but the Kobe White,
yes.
How good is he is a question I have now, because I have watched in the past couple of nights and I think has made massive strides in his overall game, not just like his, he's a scorer. He likes scoring, but now I feel like he looks more confident. He's able to like be more composed. He's like getting people the ball in the right spots. How good is he? Like, what do you have I'm trying to imagine in my head, what's the ceiling for a guy like this? He was a top 10 pick. He was a number 7 overall pick. So it's not top 5. So like expectations kind of change, but like, Is he an all-star? I think he maybe could be like a 2-time all-star in his career. I don't know.
Only reason about because the guard play, especially NBA, is so tough that you got to be outstanding. Like to say you got to be outstanding is an understatement. Because remember Bradley Beal last year didn't get in.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine, obviously when he was in the West, he wasn't gonna get in. He didn't get in when he was putting up those crazy numbers. So like, but in terms of can he be like one of those guys, and can he be like a perennial all-star, just like right there, maybe can sneak in once? I definitely can see him making at least probably one, depending on the situation where he goes, if he stays, especially if the Bulls turn and become a really solid team and a really winning team. Definitely. But even when he was in college, I was a fan of him.
Over under 1.5 all-star appearances for Kobe White's career.
Under. I'm going under. I gotta go under.
Man, watching these last 2 nights, I'm like, should I take the over? I'm like,
yeah, I'm only going only because again, bro, like the guard play in the NBA is so like just probably the highest it's ever been. And then don't forget like again, obviously it depends on where he is and things like that, and also depends on team record they're winning. But it's just the guard play is just so tough. Like, and we look at all the other guys who gonna get in based on just name alone, like it's tough. But
based on name alone is true. I've just been very optimistic watching him the past couple of days because I'm like, oh, man, this is better than we thought.
I was actually like kind of a fan of him in college as well. I just like him. Like I just see his growth has actually been really cool too. Because man, just as a Bulls fan, like it's just been embarrassing to not have anything to root for. So it just feels good to have something to look forward to, and like some bright spots that's starting to show. Obviously, we still got a lot of work to do, a long way to go, but just to even see just sparks is really exciting.
That's what I think is more long-term exciting. Like, I know how the NBA is. Like, you don't have one of these top 5 players. Like, you're probably not going to go to the finals. It just is what it is. That's how the league's always been. But you have a backcourt like LaVine and Kobe that like each other, play together well, and then they're good, and they're both 25 or under.
Yeah,
I mean, you might have a good team for a couple years.
I mean, yeah, definitely. Like right now, I'm looking at his splits. He's averaging 18.6, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Like that's really solid. Like that's a really solid. That's a really solid line right there. And like and just the fact that wasn't even really expected of him. Really, like just the fact that he's getting, like I said, he's getting more comfortable getting people the ball in the situations. If you look at the way he's dribbling, his dribbling looks a lot tighter. He's keeping the ball.
Yeah, he looks more confident with his hand.
It's really great. It's like really great to look forward to.
He's never gonna be like a like Steph or Kyrie with the ball. You can just tell how he dribbles.
I mean, like those kind of ball handlers are like,
right.
Obviously you can have solid ball handlers, but those kind of like elite, greatest of all time ball handlers, those are few and far between. Honestly.
It's true, but there's a style to it. Like last night, I flipped over to I was watching the Sixers Wizards game because Beal had 60. So I'm like, well, he had 57 in the third. I'm like, let me see this fourth, and then
Yeah, he probably should have had 70, honestly.
But you know who's got kind of that handle? Ish Smith. Have you watched?
He does have the ball on the string. He does have that little he does have that ball on the string, and definitely you got to have confidence is one. Creativity is another factor. Like he definitely does have that just have that tight handle that okay, I definitely you just knock your head like that.
No, it's been another interesting trend. So we'll all right. One final note about the Bulls. Wendell Carter looked like a beast last night. I've never seen him play like that. Like where he had like this drop step dunk where I was just like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, really. And if he can, again, when he was drafted, I don't know how many people really put like just the savior of franchise on his head, but if he could just really be a solid player, just a solid serviceable big man, and give you right now he's averaging 11, almost 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. If he can get you 15 and 8, 15 and 10 a night, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
I'm with you. Like, yeah, I'm much more optimistic about the core now than I was before. Stacey King predicted they would win 40 games. I don't know about that.
I mean, I like Stacey King, but I think he kind of has.
That's been a nice thing about League Pass is getting to listen to Stacey King though, because he's
absolutely.
What was I going to say? So if the Bulls playoff. So if I'm going by what I really predicted at the beginning of the season, I said the Bulls are going to go under 30 wins. So that means I'm predicting they probably won't make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you on board with that? I'm going to stick with that, and then we're going to move on. Bulls in play.
I'm going to say out.
Yeah.
I'm going to say out. Like they'll fall just shy of the play-in range, but they're trending in the right direction. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, so look at this right now. I'm just looking at this. There's right now the Heat aren't in, and they will be.
Yeah.
That actually is the only in the Hawks. The Heat and the Hawks.
Yeah. I think the Heat and the Hawks are going to get in there. I'm looking at the standings as well. I think Cleveland will drop down. I think New York could be surprising, but I think New York might drop down too. Man, I'm again. It's still early, but Toronto 1-6. That's
I think their run's done. I don't think they're going to be as bad as that, but I think their like run of being a perennial playoff team might
I
be.
think things over. Yeah.
And the Pistons aren't. I don't got going in. I think an interesting one. If we're talking about, if I'm predicting right now who's going to be in that play-in game or that play-in little tournament they're going to do, I got there's going to be Hawks. The thing about the Wizards, if they don't even get into that play-in, I don't know what you do about Westbrook and Beal. They're paying them both so much money. You made this massive deal for Westbrook,
and know who will want it. And you know, I'm a Westbrook fan. Like I'm definitely a Russell Westbrook fan. But it's one of those things. Like honestly, I expect Washington to play a little better. But when you know it's the same thing. Like when they play better, he's gonna get praised that he's doing wonders. Because I think like all Wizards are averaging like career highs to spend Westbrook, which is telling you that just there is a positive effect to playing with him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but I don't know. There's I watched them the other day, and well, they played the Bulls. I watched them, and like he controlled everything, which is what he does. That's how he averaged a triple double twice for like literally like he controls the whole possession, everything about it. Whoever gets the shot. So yeah, people are averaging more. I just don't know if it's winning. Like it's
not winning basketball. But then so then you got a question like when he dragged Oklahoma to the playoffs as a 6-seed, like was that like
that was all him? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Was it like a fluke thing, or was it something that proved that he really can put the team in that position to really make a run like that? But
I like Westbrook. Like I love his intensity. I love his intention for the game. Like he clearly tries, he cares, he plays hard.
Yeah, and but it's just in terms of winning basketball, like winning basketball players and winning plays, I think it's fair definitely to question that and really wonder whether or not he's that kind of player and what his career is going to look like.
I hope he can end up like on a really good team, like in the last couple of years of his career. Maybe get a ring or get into the fight. It would be nice to have him in a finals.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm thinking that the Hawks and the Hornets actually, I think the Hawks and the Hornets are going to hover around playoff contention, and those are going to be a couple of the teams that are.
Yeah. When you talk about massive contracts, well, I don't know why Gordon Hayward got the money he made, but whatever.
44 last night.
Yeah, he did. He did. But if you had to bet the over under of him doing that consistently, like I just feel like that was like a one time. Like he won't do that more than one time.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. No, they overpaid. They definitely overpaid. But I think if I'm guessing here, the Hornets have to know that they overpaid. They have to know that. I mean, I have to look at the history. They have never had a big free agent signed to Charlotte. No free agent has just gone out of their way to sign to Charlotte. So you're going to have to overpay. You're
going to have to overpay, and then you also got to hope that just what you have transforms. Like Kemba Walker was one of the franchise's biggest stars, and he and that definitely didn't really go as far as they would have liked, sure. But when you think about stars, you just hope LaMelo Ball can really not just be beyond just a name and really be a solid player and really be like a franchise winning player. Honestly,
I watched 2 plays of him like to start the season, and me and my brother were like, "Oh yeah, he's a star." Fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No. Like I'm definitely a LeVar Ball family fan. Like I think I'm still Lonzo Ball. I'm still a Lonzo Ball fan. I still think he's going to be a solid player. I still think he can be a perennial all-star. Again, being in the Western Conference where the guard play is so heavy, can he get in? I don't know, but I just definitely think he just having that core, he's great. But LaMelo Ball, like you just like aside from just his journey, just look at the way he plays and the way he carries himself. Like he definitely just has like that it factor.
Yeah. He seems like he was made for the NBA when you look at him. Actually, he's like the way he plays is very compulsive. Like he's very under control. But the touch on his passes were like as soon as I saw it, I'm like, fuck, the Bulls missed out on this. Like
man, and it's crazy. Like him and Lonzo have that same thing. There's like just the way that they can see the court, the way they play, right? Like just that that magical ability for just passing the basketball, which is obviously, people look at the flashy pass or the total assist numbers, but just when you just watch the game, just the way a simple hockey pass and just moving pieces around with the pass can really affect the game. LaMelo Ball and Lonzo Ball really have that's like a really special skill for them that needs to be talked about more.
They really do. Yeah, they have that kind of game where it's like it's not always going to show up on the stat sheet. Although I do think Bell can be one of those triple double guys eventually. Yeah. But they have, like you said, the hockey assists. Like you got to watch the game.
And then if I'm playing with them, I would be excited to play with them. Like you want to play with guys like that.
That's a great way to put it. I think that most players would not mind playing with LaMelo or Lonzo the way they play basketball.
Exactly. Yeah. Like again, obviously, you can feel how you feel about the outside noise, but whatever. Like when it comes to the actual in between these lines, they're definitely some two players I want to play with.
So I want to switch to the West because we got to some of the East stuff I wanted to get to. And an easy way to start there is that I mentioned how the Bulls missed out on LaMelo. Real one that's kind of true, but they kind of didn't because he got picked before them. They really couldn't have picked him. I think they would have drafted him if he fell to them.
Yeah, 100%. I think you had to.
One they did miss on, and so did 10 other teams, is Tyrese Halliburton. Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah. Well, what did he tweet the other day? They said that his jump shot, and they said it wouldn't transfer to the league. Man, look, he's man.
To be fair to the critics, his jump shots looks weird, but he goes in.
Look, this is a league that when we say how Sean Marion and guys like that shot the ball, but they were still they were still exciting players. But yeah,
Halliburton's from a town up here in Wisconsin actually, and he went to the same high school as my friend who I played basketball with in college, and he's younger. So I just remember when we were in college, my friend, shout out to you, Cree, if he's listening to it, but I remember him talking about this kid who was like a D1 prospect at their high school who was like, this kid is going to be really good. This kid be and then, 10 years later, you put it together. I'm like, holy shit, that's the kid.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be the biggest regret of this draft. He went 11. Didn't he go? Yeah. So I mean, that's what I mean by the biggest regret is that, like, I mean, look, Giannis going 15th, that means 14 teams that have the biggest regret ever.
Yeah.
So I think anyways, he took over last night. So I thought that was cool to see, but the Kings in all look to be better. They're another one of those surprise teams. De'Aaron Fox is really good.
I'm a huge De'Aaron Fox fan.
Yeah. I think they're good, but I think the West, as always, is too talented.
It's going to balance out. Like when you look at the standings right now, you expect Denver to get better, right? You expect, I mean, obviously, it's so much drama. There's been drama with Houston and all that things, but you expect Houston just because of the talent level. You expect the sheer talent to kind of just, cover a lot of those things, right? But yeah, like you said, the West is just too talented. Like it's just gonna just.
I mean, I can only eliminate looking at this because you just said it. Houston Rockets. I think I can't eliminate them because they have too much talent. Now, will they trade Harden? I don't know. I mean, when they're making his stock smaller when they wait till All-Star break, aren't? Or maybe not. Maybe some teams like, let's get it.
I mean, yeah, but like, I don't know. But when you think about obviously all the noise and all the chatter that's going on, you got to think about teams like what are you willing to give up to get a player like Harden, right? Like, what are you willing to give up? And like, because if you're like right there that you need a player to push you to making a finals appearance or going further in the playoffs, can he be that kind of player? Like, what would you have to give up to get that kind of player? And a lot of the reported teams, when you think about what would you have to give up to get him, you really got to weigh that. Like, do you want to get him for another 2 years? Yeah. And when you look at the teams he's had in Houston, obviously some of the things that's been out of his control in terms of like injury luck and things like that. But how he's played definitely been something that's been in his control. So.
Yeah, and I think all the stories from this offseason have not helped. Like the one team that he wanted to go to was Brooklyn.
Yeah,
I thought the interesting rumor that I didn't even think about was that people think that Mike D'Antoni, because he's on that staff now, like swayed them away from trying it, and I that doesn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me, and I honestly, like, again, just me being just as a basketball overall view, I can see for casual viewers and like just kind of just I watch basketball every so often viewers, I can see why people don't like James Harden's game, right? But for myself, again, I'm just speaking for my own self, which is like watching basketball. Can you really blame him for taking advantage of how the game is played right now? Like when you just look at just in terms of just a player, I need a bucket, give me a bucket creatively. He can get you a quick bucket. again, that's another player. You got to question: is it winning basketball because of everything that's happened so far? Can he really get that team to the next step and do it? And so far, he hasn't.
Yeah, if I yeah, he's one of the most talented players we've ever seen. But that's for a lot of reasons. And one of those reasons is because he had a system that was made for him.
Yeah.
An organization that did everything for him, and then he still demands a trade from them. I don't think Mike D'Antoni saying they don't want him, like if he did do this, has anything to do with basketball. I think he's like, you don't want that distraction. This is your first coaching job, Steve Nash. You got this guy coming in at 4 a.m. every day. Like the reports that were coming out was that he's coming in at 4 a.m. regularly and then scoring 40. So, I mean, nobody can say shit to him.
Yeah, because he's doing his job, right? Like he is. But like, obviously, when you just hear all the chatter, it's just, he's been, more so than anything, it's just unprofessional, right? We just look at this, the way everything's happening. Because again, I'm a firm believer that teams can drop players and trade players without a moment notice, not care about the roots they have, settle down the team. So a player is full within the right to, I want to get traded, I want to be here. But at the same time, it's just a professional courtesy. You still got to just show up, do your job, and just kind of just got to, play it by ear. Like doing certain things like that, it just isn't a good look.
Yeah, no, I'm with all those things. And like the player thing, like I'm usually like, yeah, you're right. Like the owners are making all these money on these players. The players should be able to do what they want.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's just certain situations. Like the harder one, I'm like, I'm actually happy that they didn't trade him right away, because it's like, why do they have to listen to you right away? Like they don't have to.
You don't, like, especially like it'd be different, if it was something where there was a reason or you had to leverage. In this situation, James Harden literally has like no leverage at all.
No, he doesn't. And like if they don't get a good deal, you can't give up a generational talent for your organization.
No, not at all. Like, and obviously if that's one of the things where as an owner, as an organization, you got to think about how this is going to affect my organization overall. But like, again, me personally, just as a fan of the game, as playing a little bit, like this is if James Harden was to buy in and play, having Silas as a coach, which is a really great look for the league. This is a really talented team. Like I think they have the talent. Like I mentioned earlier, they have the Christian Wood has been hooping. They have a talented team that they really can. Again, when they win a championship, I personally don't think so. But can they make a run and just be one of those thorny teams that can spoil somebody's playoff berth? I absolutely believe that. Like,
yeah, you might be right. I mean, yeah, because if two of the three stars get hot for a 7-game series, they could win that easily.
Crazy. And I'm so happy to see John Wall hooping. It's great to see him and Kevin Durant as well to come back from injuries and just literally, it's like they never left. Hopefully Klay Thompson can definitely come back and it's the same way.
Yeah, hopefully, and one time for Markelle Fultz. That's
Markelle Fultz, man, that's tough. He was real quick on Fultz. He's definitely like, man, it was so much going on with the number one pick and didn't work out. He was hooping. Like when you think about a person who found their groove and really had a situation perfect fit for them, man, it's just definitely sad to see. Like that's sad to see that happen.
And he can still come back. The good thing about his game, when I watch him, it's based on athleticism, but it's not completely based on athleticism. So I think he'll come back from it. But yeah, you're right. Like the Magic got a steal because they just got a number 1 overall pick for nothing. Like because the Sixers gave up on him. So yeah, you're right. It was a good story just to see him redeem himself. In general. Not to get hurt sucks, but all right. So what was it? Oh, the Rockets wise. All right. So wait, do you think if you had to make a prediction right now, we're doing these early season predictions, is Harden on the Houston Rockets at the end of the season?
By the end of the season, yes.
So by trade deadline, yeah.
Yes. I think he's under. I think he plays the whole season with Houston.
I think so too. I don't think they're going to trade him. I just don't see who he's getting traded to.
Exactly. Like, and then when you also look at where you can plug him in to really, push you there. Like I just don't see where he fits. That if you swap him around, that they're a championship team. I just don't see that.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. But all right, so Rockets then are there. So the only teams I can eliminate. This is what I wanted to say. The only teams I can literally eliminate. Looking at this, I think the Spurs are not going to be in that play-in, but that's hard to completely.
Yeah, like it's hard to go against Gary Pop.
Thunder and Timberwolves, no go.
No.
Grizzlies, as long as Ja plays 75% of the season, I think they might be around there. The Thunder and the Timberwolves are the worst teams in the West.
Mm-hmm. Man, I'm a huge Damian Lillard fan, but Portland has just been really disappointing. And I said this the other day. I don't think Terry Stotts last the season. I think this is his last season coaching Portland.
I didn't even think about that. That's a good prediction though, because all these analysts put all this pressure on the Blazers. You got Chuck putting $50,000 on the Blazers. make the conference or to make the finals, right?
Yeah, to make the finals. Yeah, like it's like that definitely was crazy. But yeah, but like just when you just look at obviously like okay, in terms of actual the game played between the lines, you got to put a lot on Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum and the team, right? They have to do a lot. But when you look at just the actual game day execution and the play calling and how things go, I just think Portland when they went to the Western Conference Finals a couple seasons ago, I think that probably was their ceiling in terms of this iteration. And I just think Terry Styles definitely. I don't think he's gonna last past the season.
That right there, though, that's the biggest prediction we've had so far here. That's a pretty big, solid prediction because a lot of teams have them going to the conference. So you're saying their ceiling was the conference finals. They got swept by the Warriors a couple years ago.
Yeah. No, I think it's great to have Dame and CJ together and playing, but I just think it's definitely after the season and the way depending on what's going to go. I think you're still going to hear louder conversations about can you keep them two together? Can you have to move one or the other to things like that?
No, I'm feeling that prediction. Because I could see it. But I could also see it going the other way. But I could see.
Yeah,
I'm not impressed with Terry Stotts. I'm not that impressed with him.
Yeah, not at all. And I mean, again, Dame is one of the best, not only best point guard, but best players in the league. CJ definitely is a bucket getter, and I just think a lot of people didn't have CJ being as good as he is when he was coming out. But yeah, just when you just look at the roster, just the roster makeup, like it's like they have talent level that should be better than what it is, and they also have just like a lot of names that are living up to it, right? Like when they played Melo and Kessler together, it just didn't work. Like that just won't work.
Yeah, Melo likes to shoot too. When I was watching him the other day, he's still putting it up.
I'm still maintaining that Melo should have came to the Lakers because what he's doing right now in Portland, he could have been doing it for the Lakers. Just come off the bench in the 15-20 minutes and just get buckets. But whatever, all right, we're gonna go past that.
I'll tell you what though, the one thing about the Blazers I could always watch is Derrick Jones. I love watching him because just like he's a pogo stick when you watch him jump.
Like he's just so quick off his feet and so quick to get up. It's just like
layup on the backboard. It didn't count because there was a foul, and he just caught it like here. He was at the backboard. I was like, what the?
Yeah, like it's just like he got like freaking springs in his knees or something crazy.
So ceiling of the Blazers is the conference finals that they already hit. We're not thinking they're gonna go past.
Yeah, I think the Blazers. I just think when you look at the Western Conference, like you mentioned, it's just the Western is always tough. But when you look at all the teams, especially once Klay Thompson comes back, if he becomes like a fraction of what he was, you don't expect Golden State to stay mid-level for too long either. Like, I just don't see Portland. Like,
I will say, I think to go with that, the ceiling of the not that I want to go back to the East, but I think the Heat, this iteration of the Heat definitely reached their ceiling at the
I just think that was a surprising, like that weird thing that nobody really predicted. I don't like the Heat have a really good team. I'm a huge Jimmy Butler fan. I'm a huge just a Heat fan in general. But I don't think they get back to that.
I'm a Jimmy Butler fan too, but I'm not buying stock in him this year. No offense to him. I think he hit that was the peak. That was it. That was the peak.
Yeah.
All right. So sticking with the West here then. We're going to get to the big predictions here, but the final one I would say is if you got to pick, because one of these teams is not going to make the playoffs. So
yeah.
Pelicans, Kings, Mavs. Mavs have not looked impressive, even though I love Luka and them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Warriors, I guess, are an option to not make the playoffs.
They easily can make it just as easy as they can't make it. They can go both ways with them, honestly.
So who's not going to make it in your book? Because all right. If we're doing guarantees here, Lakers, Clippers are in. Suns are in.
Okay.
I think the Nuggets are in, but they're not right now. The Nuggets are in. We're putting the Nuggets.
Yeah, Nuggets in. Yeah.
There's 4.
I'll put Utah in there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I was hesitant, but I think you're right. So that's 5.
So for the last,
Portland's got to be
in. I really want them to because I'm a huge fan. I really want them to so bad, but again, like this is like when you look at a weird season. Can they miss the playoffs? Like I don't know.
Actually, with the prediction you're calling, it would kind of make sense that they don't make the playoffs. It would.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
I mean, I think we're gonna go. I think the Thunder are not making it. The Timberwolves are not making it. I think I'm gonna go with the Rockets missing the playoffs. Because I don't know who else. Like Phoenix, LA, Clippers. Well, the Warriors I think are gonna miss the playoffs. Jazz. Yep. Pelicans are in. Pelicans are in this year. Zion's making a turn. Ingram's gonna.
So? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I can if they just obviously play with more poise and learn late game situations. I can see the Pelicans making the playoffs.
I'm kind of leaning towards you a little bit in this weird way. Like maybe the Blazers are not nearly as good as everybody thought, and maybe they don't make the playoffs.
I mean, like in terms of talent, they have the talent. Like Dame is just that guy. CJ is a bucket getter, and like they have talent. But just when you match them up against some of the other teams, they just don't match up really well against some of them other teams.
That would be wild. Mavs, Nuggets. Yeah. Oh man, that would be crazy. Well, we have as always, the West is going to be tightly contested. I think the play-in tournament is going to be really exciting, and I love that they have.
It's going to be huge. Yeah, it's going to be really exciting.
All right, well then let's do these final couple predictions here for this early season NBA preview. First of all, comeback player of the year. I just wanted to do this one because I have a thought on it. I don't know if you do. I if I'm making a prediction, it's going to go to Kevin Durant. But
that's what I was going to say. I was going to say Kevin Durant. My second will be John Wall, but I'm going to say Kevin Durant just because he's KD. He's definitely looking like he didn't miss a step. So yeah, I'm with you on that, Kevin Durant.
I want we are going to deal. He's out for like 4 games because of COVID right now.
Yeah,
and he's already had COVID, but then he was exposed again. It's all over the place. But yeah, we're gonna run into a couple of those things. So I wonder how many players are going to play all 72 games. Probably not going to be anybody.
Man, we're looking at the Western Conference really quick. I'm looking at Phoenix is currently at top. I can see honestly I'm gonna hold off on that because the top teams that if their positions are solidified by the end of the season, they can take off a few games and they can just care about it. Sure. I think teams like the Lakers, the Clippers, those two teams especially don't really care about seeding, so they're gonna rest their guys, going through the season. Like that's coming. So
yeah,
honestly, I mean, when you think about it, maybe the teams at the bottom, like currently, between Golden State, Portland, Sacramento, Dallas, Denver, Houston. If this trend continues, they can't afford to not play their guys for the game. Like they have to play.
It's true. That's really true. Yeah, good Paul on the John Wall. I think it's between John Wall or Kevin Durant probably for comeback player of the year.
Yeah, like that's
comeback player of the year. Does it always go to somebody who was hurt the year before, or what's the other option?
I mean, I would think so, because especially coming off a devastating injury like KD both and John Wall did, you got to see how they come back, and they literally look just as good if before.
I'm just trying to think of what's another scenario you would have won comeback player of the year? I guess if you took a year off or some shit. What's another scenario?
I don't know. I don't know because you can't have a down year in terms of career numbers and come back and just put up crazy numbers. But
all right. Defensive player of the year. Last year we had Giannis. He was one of 2 players to ever win the
MVP and DV. Yeah.
Who do you? I think we got Giannis. We got Rudy Gobert. And there was somebody else I was going to add in the mix there. I can't remember. But those are probably the top 2, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
I actually think if I had to go, I'm going Rudy Gobert here.
Rudy Gobert again?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's won it before, right?
Yeah, he's two times already? 2 times, I think.
Paid this year. I don't love Rudy Gobert, by the way. I kind of dislike him for the off the court stuff last year with the microphone. But I mean, if they're a 4 seed, he averages 3 blocks a game and 12 rebounds.
Yeah, you kind of gotta go. Yeah, you kind of just gotta go with that. Yeah.
But I think the Bucks are actually. I think they're gonna be good, and Giannis will have a solid year, but they're not gonna be they might not be the 1 seed, I guess I would say.
No, nah. The Bucks are another team. I put the Bucks in the same boat as the Clippers. That the regular season, they're gonna be great. The regular season, they can go 7-2-0. It doesn't matter at all what they do in the regular season. They have to show up in the playoffs, and if they don't, it's you just go from there. The regular season doesn't matter at all. Yeah,
for sure. Do you got any? All right. So do you have any predictions for defensive?
Yeah, I'm about to go Rudy Gobert again.
Yeah.
Looking at it, just thinking about it, I definitely want AD to win it, but just the Lakers.
AD is the other name. That's the other one.
I definitely would like AD to win it, but I just think in terms of just what just the matchups and just looking at the team overall makeup, I think Rudy Gobert probably is better suited for him to get defensive player than AD is.
Trying to see if there's any guards who could be involved in that. Maybe
that's what I was thinking. So I was looking. I'm looking at the standings right now, looking at guards.
Jaylen Brown, maybe he locks up the best guy on their team usually. Actually, Bucks wise, if they do end up being really good, Drew Holiday.
Yeah, Drew Holiday.
They would have to have guards have to average 3 steals a game. They have to have
they have to do play the passing lanes really well and just obviously when you get into the really advanced statistics, they have to really be near the top.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Because I would have to look at the guards that have won it in the past. Maybe we'll do that. Do a deep dive next week. All right, and then the big award. Oh, actually, there's 2. 6 man a year. 6 man. Yeah, so potential here. Lou Will's not getting this year.
No, I don't think so.
Don't the Pelicans have? Yeah, I don't even know who's the potential here.
I don't know if he's my top, but one of my dark horses would be Joe Harris.
Yeah, I was about to say this is what I was thinking. The Brooklyn Nets have a couple options.
Joe Harris. I think it could be one. Trez can be in the mix just because the Lakers are going to be a really good team.
Luke Kennard. No, he's doesn't he start now? Or
yeah. Well, he was starting. He was starting now because they were out.
Montrezl Harrell could win it again.
Montrezl Harrell could win again because like I said, he not just because they're going to have a good record, but he's a solid, valuable piece for their team. The only thing that I think will hold him back is just the fact that some nights he's not going to give you 20 points a night. He's going to give you 8 points a night. He's going to give you 25. He can give you 18. Like but again, it's not through his fault. It's just because the Lakers as a team makeup won't need that every single night. So that's the only thing I think. But
I think I think we're going with Trez as our leader over here because I can't. That's who
either Trez or Joe Harris are going to be those are like my picks.
Dinwiddie got hurt. I thought he had an opportunity because he was going to be a spark for them off the bench.
Yeah.
All right. So now the big one, MVP.
My early pick was Steph. Because I think he had the best position in terms of he can get his team to the playoffs and he doesn't even have to put up crazy historical numbers. He could just put this team into the playoffs and just have them right there in the mix. He was my early season prediction. I know it was a huge Luka was the huge thing off season. I wasn't all the way there yet, but I'm a stick and I'm gonna go with Steph.
Go with Steph, yeah.
It's
a good bet. So the names that were really in the fold here are Steph, Luka. LeBron's always just gonna have. Damian Lillard honestly was a hot pick for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Giannis is definitely an option. So there's 4 right there.
Of course, you have the standards always, of course.
So my sleeper kind of, I don't know if I'm not making this bet, but it's my sleeper for the MVP if we're talking is Devin Booker.
I was literally just about to say I was looking at the standings. Devin Booker and Chris Paul have to be in that discussion.
I think if the Suns have the top 2 seed, which is going to be, they're going to shock a lot of people, not completely shock, but surprise people. And Devin Booker is averaging 25 a game.
He can get MVP.
He's got to be in the top.
He got to be in the mix. And I also think that Phoenix can realistically get a top seed because, like I mentioned, the Lakers, the Clippers, teams like that, they don't care about seeding. So they're kind of just going to, kind of essentially throw away games by just, it is what it is. I just think that they don't really care about seeding as much. So I think that helps Phoenix a lot. That they have like a lot of younger guys, they really can play the whole season. They can really get to it.
I think the Suns could low-key be the number 1 seed. Like I think they could.
I mean, if they got it, that really wouldn't surprise me. Like that wouldn't surprise me. Like that really wouldn't surprise me because they can play for that because they have like both the young guys to really get there. Like they can play for that, so that really wouldn't surprise me.
So you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna make that my pick. I was actually thinking about there was gonna be a high likelihood that I was gonna go with LeBron. Just because, I don't know,
the only reason why I don't say LeBron is because he won't play the whole season.
That's exactly why I'm not
saying that's the only reason. But again, when you the debate's never going to be settled. What does MVP mean? How do you classify MVP? LeBron should have 10 MVPs, just like Jordan and et cetera, et cetera. Like that's not even a debate. But the reason why he just won't get it is just only because he won't play the whole season. And same thing with 80. I don't think 80's gonna play the whole season either. Which I think those two things, and then also it's the fact that those two guys are some of the top guys. They kind of cancel each other out in a sense that they kind of take votes from each other. So that's kind of like, well, yeah. So I'm my opinion. I'm gonna go with Steph. Steph is my prediction for MVP.
I like it. I'm going with Booker. All right, so we're gonna wrap up here with the big ones you would expect. I want to pick a champion, but I think I wanted to pick the conference finals into the champion. Are you cool with that? You wanted to pick who's going to play in the conference finals here for both sides?
Yeah, I can go with that.
So East, let's start with the East. Who's making it to the conference finals? I already know who I think, but I might be wrong.
I'm going with the conference finals. I'm going before Dinwiddie got hurt. I had Boston and Brooklyn. But since he's got hurt, I'm gonna go with Boston and Milwaukee.
Boston and Milwaukee. I like that. The Dinwiddie injury, you're right, hurts because I actually, especially after the Clay thing, everything, I was like, I looked at a lot of the ESPN predictions, and like 5 of the 6 analysts had Lakers Nets in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, but before then we got hurt, and I definitely can see that. Like, just when you look at the East, yeah, you getting Kyrie and KD, and like you got 2 of the top 10 players on the same, arguably on the same team, and just that talent level, if they can figure it out together, like they can just run through the East and just get. Yeah. Like,
I'm putting a lot of faith into Steve Nash. I really like him. I think he's gonna be a successful coach.
I think so too. Yeah,
I got Nets. Oh, man, I want to go Nets Bucks, but you know what we talked about last year? The seeding is important for the playoff bracket. That's where it's important.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true.
If they go 1-4, then they're playing the second round. I'm gonna go Nets Bucks in the conference finals, and then I'm just gonna say it right away. I got the Nets making the finals.
Man, I got out the East. I said Boston, Milwaukee in the conference finals. I got Boston making the finals out the East.
Oh, they're finally gonna do it. That would be huge.
I got Boston. Like, I just think Jaylen Brown turned the corner. Jason Tatum is hooping. Like, yeah, I think they this could be the year they can really get there.
So in my mind, this is setting up to be, let's see, the NBA's regular June matchup, because I know what you're gonna predict here.
You know this. Who
are the Lakers playing in the conference finals then? Is what I'll ask you. This is the year for the Clippers. This is it.
Yo, the Clippers have to make it, because they don't blow the team up, go away, and I don't want to hear any more talks about this guy is great, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I got Clippers and Lakers in the conference finals. I got the Lakers beating the Clippers. It's gonna be Lakers and Boston in the finals.
I like it. I wanted to say Lakers Clippers too, but now I'm a little concerned because I just said the Suns are gonna be the 1 seed, and if the Suns are the 1 seed,
they play the Clippers in the second round.
Depending on where the Lakers and the Clippers fall. So that means that one of them needs to finish 2 or 3, and one of them needs to finish 4 or 5, like that. Or no, yeah, that is how that would have to be. Yeah.
And I can see both of again, just by sheer talent, the Lakers and Clippers can be a top 4 seed. But I can also see either one of those finishing between 4 and 5, just because they're gonna rest guys and they're gonna essentially I wouldn't say take games off, but just because of resting guys and they don't really care about seeding that much, that it's just gonna be like things like that.
All right. Well, so that means you got the Lakers winning. I
had the Lakers.
What I thought. I was going Lakers Clippers. I'm changing what I thought. I'm going Lakers Suns in the conference finals. So that means Chris Paul gets the farthest he's ever gotten.
Hey,
I'm going Lakers to make the finals.
If this was any other season, I definitely want Chris Paul is one of the guys. I want him to have a ring before he retires. Like, he's on that list that you want him to, but it's just, man, when you look at just the makeup of the league, he just unfortunately runs into these other teams. Like, it's tough, but I'm
playing in the LeBron era.
Well, one of my coworkers actually was on the same way with you with Phoenix. He had Phoenix as Phoenix as a top 3 seed, and he had Phoenix actually going to the conference finals.
Yeah, I like it. So it's not like I started this bandwagon myself. I know they're going to be good, but yeah, I surprised myself because I wasn't so sure. I was like really leaning towards it, but I wasn't sure. But then that leaves you got Lakers over the Celtics, I'm sure, right?
Yes, I do.
If I'm going Lakers Nets, man, part of me wants to just like surprise the world and pick the Nets, but I actually think the Lakers are going to repeat. I think the Lakers are going to repeat. They're the best.
And again, I just think like the Brooklyn had they're one of the things where they have when you put like really high caliber players together, you give them a 1 season to kind of get together. The second season is when you see can they really do it or not. But also like losing Dinwiddie for a season, that also kind of gives them like a little grace period, so to speak, a little bit too. But so like I don't like obviously just the talent level you expect the Brooklyn to really be there, but like I think by next season, if they keep this team together and what they can add around KD and Kyrie, that's when you really can they really do it or not with this group?
That was fun. Sleeper for the MVP, I just thought though. Kevin Durant, he's a sleeper for the MVP.
Yeah, I mean he's not one of those guys like he's coming back. And he just
looks good. He looks like he didn't miss.
He looks the same, like he didn't miss. I got one thing we didn't cover though, which I mean, I guess is kind of major. Who you got for most improved?
Oh yeah, see, I didn't get all the awards. I knew I was gonna miss some of them.
Yeah, he got most
improved. Well, I probably would have went with Markelle Fultz before the injury. Honestly, I'm
rolling with Julius Randle.
Oh, that's the great pick for a hot pick right now too.
Early season, like riding the hype train, going Julius Randle.
So he's an option. Christian Wood maybe is an option. He's playing super.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Christian Wood is one too. Yeah.
Really good. I know there's going to be somebody that pops up here because somebody's going to have like a crazy stretch this season. I mean, shit, Joe Harris, if he has that crazy year that you were kind of predicting with 6 man, he's an option.
Yeah.
Julius Randle, Julius Randle might be it.
I think Julius Randle, like if he's just even if his averages dip a little bit in the course of the season, just if he just man, first of all, if New York makes the playoffs, that's huge. Like that's huge.
Oh yeah,
But
especially for the city of New York.
Yeah, even if they don't and his numbers dip a little bit, it's the fact that where he is right now, he's just like it's just been like one of those bright spots. Like he's like my early season, like riding the hype train, my early season pick.
I one sleeper on this. Now, I don't know if this is. I'm just looking at this and I was thinking about it because I was watching him yesterday. Is Seth Curry? Because he's already good. So I know he was already good. He got paid. And he was averaging like 12 or 13 a game. But I was watching him yesterday, man. I'm like, yo, his shot looked like he was not touching the rim. Everything was all.
Seth Curry
has 22 a game. I mean,
he has one of those things that unfortunately you can't help who you're related to. So he's always going to be he's just one of those guys. When you have a family member who's astronomical, you're always going to be in a shadow, so to speak. But Seth Curry is a great player in his own right. He
really is. He's
so
like,
you know who else looks good too? Again, just going off for a few games, Austin Rivers. Like, I am also an Austin Rivers fan. I just think seasons ago when in the playoffs when he got injured, he came back and he still was battling through that. I think that showed a lot of people that he's beyond the coach's son, that he belongs in the league. He has a toughness and there's a play. So I think Austin Rivers definitely looks good as well.
He's feisty. I've kind of liked him, and then kind of sometimes that he has that funny thing that some people don't like him because like you can tell he thinks he's like the shit. Like
he probably thinks he's better than what he actually is. I mean, but listen, look, you don't get to the most like the pinnacle of your profession by just being okay. Like you gotta have that mentality.
That's what got him there. So he's got to have that. And he has that like chip on his shoulder thing.
You have to have it.
Probably because he's been called a coach's kid his whole fucking life.
I mean, his whole career, yeah. Like, and it's one of the things where, I mean, it is what it is. You can't do anything about that. Your dad is a coach, and you grew up in that lifestyle. You really can't do anything about that, but just do your job. He did his job, and he got to the league.
He's good. I think Tibbs is the best thing that happened to the to the New York Knicks franchise in a long time.
Yeah, in a very long time. Since like when's the last time they had a good run when they had Jason Kidd, Melo, and all them? Like when they had that run.
Yeah, you're right. They had was that D'Antoni, right?
No, well, wasn't it was it D'Antoni? No, what
the other coach that was good? What was his name?
Was it Nathan Miller? Was it Nathan Miller? Was it? No.
Who's the coach for the Hawks? No, I don't know. I don't remember. They had another coach. It was D'Antoni because D'Antoni coached Melo. I know that.
Yeah, and that quickly fizzled out.
The question though about the Tibbs thing for the Knicks going forward is, does he? I mean, we had this with the Bulls. Does he get the best out of what he has for a short period of time, or is he creating a foundation for the future? What is the outcome with the Tibbs situation? We've seen both sides of it. People complain about his overplaying. People, he's already playing Julius Randle like 40 minutes. The guys are under 25 years old. Let him play the whole game. I don't like.
That's like the only look. Listen, I like Tibbs. The only thing I'm holding against him is D Rose, which I'm pretty sure a lot of other people are. But again, look.
I don't know how much that's his control, man. I mean, I know getting him out of the game, but it's tough.
Yeah. It's tough. Like the injuries happen. Like literally, that same injury could have happened in the first play of the game, or the next game, or some random Tuesday night game. Like literally, all right. That's just one of the things that it makes us feel better to put the blame on him. Like it makes it just like for Kobe's injuries, I'm still blaming D'Antoni for some of Kobe's injuries. Like it just makes us feel better to just assign blame. So it is what it is. But to answer your question, I think, because New York is desperately searching for bright spots, I think right in the early season showed that he had, well, again, in terms of talent, they have a few good pieces for the future in terms of talent foundation, but in terms of the coach, I think he's building something. Like I think he's like a good, for at least to get them to respectable levels so that they're no longer a laughing stock. I think he definitely does the right guy for the job right now.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, I mean, it's an interesting question just because we know what the other side is with all the injuries. But like, I think he's laying the foundation for them to, maybe you build on when he's done and he's running all the guys on the ground, you get another coach that has.
Because the biggest thing, like New York is one of the things, like they needed a culture change, right? You needed somebody who's going to come in and just have a toughness and have a really understand, like we're no longer going to take shit from anybody. Like, and New York definitely has players that exhibit that. Other things in terms of right now, just the coach and the players, the roster is a good fit right now.
Those do only seem to last a certain amount of time. I don't know if you remember. I'm sure you do. Remember when Scott Skiles coached the Bulls? Those Kirk Heinrich years? Like they got to be a scrappy like 4 seed. Like
like
And then they stopped listening to Skiles, and then they fired him because that's what happens with those kind of guys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you just kind of like just get these players like just scrapping this, and you got to have a chip on your shoulder that you got to scrap and claw, you got to fight because nobody respects you because you've been trashed for the past decade. So you really got to scrap and get that respect. You got to fight for that respect back. And like the New York definitely has elements of that. They can have a similar run. And like man, but if you remember, those days were fun. Back with Kirk Heinrich and all those guys, and like watching like those
watching those Bulls teams. Like those guys, they got on the floor, they were feisty. Like, and you know, the more we're talking about Tibbs and all the things that he's the kind of culture he's created, I got the Knicks making the playoffs. I'm out.
Oh, yo,
I don't even know what that means. Who's out? I mean, I guess that means.
But you know, yo, obviously, so I'm still looking at the standings right now. It actually isn't as crazy as you might think it was, but again, it's still early. You kind of expect them maybe to come back down a little bit. But look at it right now. I don't expect Brooklyn to stay the AFC. I personally don't expect Cleveland to make it. I expect Cleveland to fall out.
Cavs are out. Cavs are out. Heat are in. There's one replacement.
I think Orlando falls out as well because you got to get. I think Atlanta makes it to Orlando.
Orlando falls out. Knicks are in.
Honestly, yo, the Knicks can be. They can.
Yeah,
they really can. Yeah.
Although actually, the Orlando Knicks thing, I don't know who's better. Orlando actually is okay. They look better than I think.
But I think the Markelle Fultz injury hurts a little. I think that hurts him a lot. And I just think the Knicks, like we mentioned, like just in terms of just being scrappy, just really getting hot and just really having a stretch. And I think the Knicks have like they have the ability to.
I like this. We made some wild predictions today.
Yeah,
we predicted Terry Stotts getting fired. The Blazers aren't even going to make the playoffs. This is great.
It's crazy. Like this is one of those crazy seasons that like it's just not normal. So maybe just stuff happens. Like it's just a crazy season that stuff can happen.
Oh, you're totally right. Well, yeah, I don't know. Is there any other notes that you had that we missed?
No, just game currently the Nets are well, it's still early second quarter, but the Nets are beating Philly by 2.
Yeah, here we go. I got it.
Definitely on. But now, it's just great to have it back. It's just great to have the NBA back. It's just been a lot going on. It's just great to have the game back and just having just they have the platform as well as having there's something that we can really get into. It's just great to have it back.
Yeah, no, it really is, and we didn't even get into any of the gambling stuff really, because the all these new options with the sports gambling, I can tell it is bringing some more people, like especially with the in-game parlays for stats.
Yeah.
A lot of people are playing, and I'm myself included. I'll play them. They make. I think you're getting a little bit more. Like the sports betting is actually getting some more people watching.
I think so. Like definitely, which is great because I know, of course, you worried about corruption and that really influencing the game and things like that, but. I also think when you get into like the aspect of it, you just kind of take away from the fact that sports and people love sports and people love to make money. So when you put those two things together, like you said, it's just getting people more involved in the game and more people more involved in it.
You learn about it, and like gambling on sports games has been a part of it since sports started. Like
literally, yeah. It's just finally because of so many different aspects of popularity and then gambling being something that's really coming into more of a, for lack of a better term, positive light now. So I think it's been huge. And I just want to say I definitely off the Clippers game, as ironically the Clippers game, I won me a huge parlay bet, and it's fantastic.
Wait, which Clippers game? The one last night?
No, they were playing Portland last week, and
stats parlay.
Yeah, so this is the leg. So I had the Clippers winning. I had them holding Dame under 28.5. I had CJ scoring over 22. I had Paul George grabbing 6 rebounds, and I had Serge Ibaka grabbing 7 rebounds. And all of that happened. It was fantastic.
You hit it. What was the plus? What was it plus? Like what is that? Let me guess. Plus 1250 or what was it?
It was like plus 22 something. Crazy.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic, and it was great, and it was glorious.
That's what's up, man. Congrats. I have not hit any of the big stat. Well, I have in football. I hit a couple stat ones, but nothing big. I went 7 for 9 on one the other day that would have won me like $3,000. I was like, God.
Yeah. I went like 7 for 10 the other day, and it was just not.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is when I had hit a football bet, so then I was like, all right, I'll bet more on this other bet, and then like you lose, and you're like, what am I don't know what's going on.
Nah, it was crazy.
All right. Well, you know what? Next time we hop on, because we should do this soon. We should make some like an official parlay of the week or something like that.
I'm with it. That's cool. We can do that. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, but like, you down to hop on again? I don't know, next week or something. We'll figure it out.
I'm down, man. You know I'm always appreciate you having me as a guest, bro.
A regular thing for the season, as long as the season goes on.
Yeah, right. Again, bro, I appreciate you, bro. Like, I'm always gonna hop on, man. Keep on doing your thing, bro. I'm proud of you. Like, I'm always available, man. Let me know.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. No, we're gonna keep this thing going, and I love the predictions we made today, man. I appreciate you so much.
They were great. They really
man,
is.
You the man, bro. Enjoy the rest of your night with your family. I know I hear them running around in the background doing their thing.
Yeah, one more time, man. Congratulations, bro. Like, it's gonna be great. You joining the most exclusive brotherhood in the world. It's fantastic. Like I said, you heard him in the background, so I'm definitely gonna go mess with them because they're definitely my night when I can mess with them just like they mess with me. And bro, like, I know you're excited, bro. Like, it's gonna be fantastic, man. Like, just it's congratulations again, man.
Thank you, man. That really means a lot. Like, I'm really excited. Like, I'm just it's perfect. It's really working out well. Obviously, I'm becoming a nervous dad before I'm even a dad in a certain way where you're just making sure everything's all right and shit. But
yeah. Like, you gotta like just kind of overthink it, just the energy and just the nervousness, just like going crazy. But hey, look, you already know, man. It's coming at the right time. We're out. We got the basketball going on. We all gonna be doing drills together. We're gonna have on the same team. Let's do it.
Exactly. I already got the cones ready. I got the drill.
Oh yeah. All right. Look, I already let them know, like, 6 a.m. wake ups and workouts.
Yeah.
Just get ready for it. Like,
we're at it. That means I gotta get up at 6 a.m. too, though. All right, bro. I appreciate it. Let's talk soon. I'll text you.
Yes, sir, bro. Appreciate you, man. Have a good night.
All right, man. You too. League pass.
Yes, sir.